We all know that relocating abroad takes a lot of hard work, determination, and we always prepare for some sacrifices we're going to take or we're going to make before we settle down. Getting a dream job at the beginning of our relocation might not happen overnight, and we need some preparation, some jobs to do to keep soul and body together. In today's video, I'm here with my husband to talk about some surviving jobs we need to do in the UK before we get our dream job. Hi, babe. What's up?
I'm very fine, thank you.
And good to see you again on my channel. So the platform is yours to talk about some surviving jobs we can do in the UK.
Yeah, thank you for having me, darling.
You're welcome, babe.
All yours. In the meantime. So, guys, like she had said from the beginning that we're going to be talking about some surviving jobs. These are just surviving jobs. Bear in mind, it's not something you're going to be doing forever. You know,
exactly.
Like we all have dream jobs. We have ambitions. We have things we're working towards. But in the meantime, while you're doing all those ones, these are jobs that can still keep you through. So you don't have to be like financially, should I say, handicapped or not being able to meet up with certain financial commitments. You know what I mean? So one of those jobs is if you think you're hardworking and you think you equal to the task, is to start with, is a kitchen porter job. We call it KP generally here in the UK, particularly in London. It's called KP. So you could start with that one, or a cleaning job. So oftentimes the jobs is always very much available. Like I can't say it's a hot cake job, but what I mean is it is not a job that is scarce. It's something you get easily. There are so many agencies that you can get those jobs with if you're willing and ready to work with them, and then they pay minimum wage. So with that, you can start with something. So that's just one of the jobs.
Yeah, before you continue, when you talk about kitchen porter, what do they do there? Is he working in a kitchen, a restaurant?
Yeah, kitchen porter job generally is like being a kitchen assistant. So what it means is you are in the kitchen. The kitchen here are very big kitchen, because like most of the kitchens are got to do with hotel, big restaurants, you know, some eatery, you know. So that's where this kitchen porter thing comes in. So the kitchen is a well set up kitchen that's got dishwasher. It's got kitchen equipment from pots to plates to. So these are big like industrial kitchen. So yeah, so you can wash. As a kitchen porter, the things you're expected to do is basically take care of the kitchen, then like more or less like an assistant to the chef that are cooking and doing things. So you wash the dishes, you clean the kitchen, tidy up the kitchen from time to time. You look after the dishwasher. It is called washing machine. Dishwasher. You look after it, like making sure the water is clean at all times, and the degree, because there's certain temperature that the water should be, you know. So those are the things you do basically.
Right. So what I know of cleaning job as well, that you can work as a cleaner either in a school, in an hospital, in an hotel, companies, where it depends on the agency you work with and where they've got their own contracts, where they want you to go do cleaning for their clients. Right. So that is also a surviving job you can do for the meantime.
Yes, of course.
You are paid per hour, depending on the hours.
Those jobs are, most of the manual jobs or odd jobs or casual jobs are usually per hour, hourly rates. So the minimum wage, they pay you minimum wage. So you might be fortunate anyway to get something above the minimum wage, but it's still around that that rate, you know.
Like around £10,
like
£11?
£11, £12 an hour, depending on the agency you are working for. So that's what they pay. So it's really it's not a bad idea to, I mean, like a starting point, you know, because you're not going to come into the UK and then just start working as an accountant, except you're ready to stay and then wait for like probably 3, 4, 5, 6 months while you're doing the job, and you don't mind not having anything to do that would give you little income, you know. But if you really want to, like, you don't mind you pursuing that your dream job and then you're doing this KP job or cleaning job, it's a good start for me.
And the irony of it is that once you get into a new country like UK, for an example, you start spending money right from the airport. You need to pay for your bus pass, your train pass.
You're going to be, the first thing is, if you're even going to be stranded at the airport, because right as soon as you come off the plane and then you check by immigrations, the next thing is you want to get to maybe your friend's house, or even if your friend had come to pick you, except the person came as in person had driven to the airport to come pick you. So if that is not the case, then we're talking of, we call it Oyster card. So it's a pay as you go card. So you need to put money in that card, and then depending on how much you have and where you're going to, that's where you're going to use right from the airport.
The bottom line is that you start spending money when you get to the UK. And the thing is that you need to have some money.
Yeah, you need to have some money
for you to spend, and they're always going to give you every time. Even if you have a relative that you're staying with, they won't be giving you money all the time. And you don't even want to be a liability to anybody. So you want to pick up any job to survive, to meet up some little needs.
Also bear in mind, if you're not willing to do this KP job or cleaning job that I just talked about, then because it depends on where you're staying again, because you're most likely to be paying, even if you're not going to be paying rent, you're most likely to be paying bills. Yeah, we pay bills like electricity, water, gas, and if the phone you're going to be using again as well, you recharge your phone, because you definitely need to make contact, call people to ask about the job you're looking for. So that is why it is very much necessary to at least
take
get
all those surviving jobs, so those manual jobs
you were pursuing your dream job.
Okay, thank you. Carer job is also another surviving job in the UK. You can work as a private carer to some families, helping them take care of their homes, doing school runs for their children, staying at home, or doing childminding. They are also like surviving jobs. Mind you, registered childminder are like professional jobs in which, because they are registered, they do some courses to make them have the license to practice as a childminder. But there are some that do theirs on a low key, going to people's houses to look after their children, babysitting, like that. They are also survival jobs in the UK. So what other job do you think we can do, or people can do to survive?
Yeah, there are so many jobs people could pick up in the UK. We just talked about kitchen porter / cleaning job, and you just talked about
the child
minding job and care job. So the list is kind of endless, So we've got another one like concierge, so which is another one as well. So this one is a bit should I say a bit too sure, like push. Okay. So you don't when you dress, you don't really look like you're doing a casual job or a casual work, because you dress official, you look official. Wow. Like you're putting on suits. But at the end of the day, those that knows it's casual job would still know, because the area where you're going to be working, but at least it still earns you some respect. So what you do basically as a concierge is like looking after a building. I don't know if that's something people are used to from wherever they coming from, like in Africa, for instance. I don't know, but it is you're probably looking after a building, say for instance, a building that has got like say some flats in them. I don't know, depending on the number of flats. So you just like a receptionist. Okay, yeah, let me just say you more or less like a receptionist on the ground floor. So people comes in, you are the first contacts as soon as they come into the building. Then they if they are visitors, for instance, they need to tell you the flat number they go into, and then probably if they go into flat number 15, for instance, the number 15 occupant might have told you he or she is expecting the guests that when they come, I won't be at home. This is my key to my flat. Just let them wait for me until they come, and then they still kind of like maintain, like they do some sort of maintenance in the building as well, like cleaning the building, making sure the building is kept cleaned at all time, and then building with parking spaces as well. They make sure non-residents don't come to park in those buildings, So those are the things you do as a concierge. And then if there's an emergency, depends on the kind of emergency. We have emergency. It could be fire emergency. You need to call the fire service people. If it is people fighting in a building, and then you think you should call the police, or like a domestic violence or like theft, for instance, somebody might just walk up into the building. It happens a lot as well. Sometimes, not a lot. It happens once in a while in the UK as well, where we have a random guy just comes into a compound and then wants to steal a car, or they want to remove the tire of a car, or they're trying to get access into a car that has been parked in the building, So those are the things they're doing as a concierge. Of course, there'll be a camera where you watch to see those things going on. So basically, concierge, the long and short of it is to look after a building, and then make sure the building is clean at all times.
What again?
Yeah, so like I said, the list is endless. So we've just talked about kitchen porter, we'll talk about concierge, we've talked about cleaning, and then we've talked about care. So another one again on the list is it's called security. Yeah, we call it SIA. So what that basically means is the normal security you would have heard of, or you would have been used to from wherever you're coming from. But the only difference is there are processes here. It's not like where we all come, like some African countries where they just employ any random guy and then just say you're a security, you'll be in charge of this building without even having a security experience, you know what I mean? So here there are processes and procedures. So if you want to work here as a security, we call it SIA, we call it a security officers. So there's a license you get for it. It's called SIA.
So you have to do the course.
Yeah, there's a short course on it that you need to do. It's depending on the particular one you want to do, because it's a bit broad. We've got CCTV on it. That's if you're doing the one of CCTV, that means it's called closed circuit television. So you probably looking through the CCTV to camera to see what's going on in other parts of the building where you can't see physically with your eyes. So yeah, so then the one that is very major and very common is the normal security officer. They call that door supervisors. So basically, those are like bouncers in a layman's world. Like they are like called like they are being referred to as bouncers. But the official word for them is door supervisors. So if you're working as a door supervisor, you probably being in charge of door. Like for instance, no one comes into come through that door, no one goes out through that door. Those are just the basic things you do.
Do your hand like this. You can't minimize without.
So yeah, I'm used to like talking and using my hands to demonstrate. So yeah, so the door supervisors, like I said, is you being in charge of a particular place on a particular place, and then with the instruction that it could be no one is meant to come out through that door or exit or entrance, but people could come in through, but they can't go out through it, So that's what you're there for. And if people are coming in, if whatever you're working, they would have told you different venues with different kind of how do I put it?
Job description.
Yeah, like not really job description, like method of working. Yeah, you working. Yeah, like for instance, some venues require you to search every customer that comes in. If you're working in a club, for instance, or you're working in a pub, so some venues requires you to search customers. Some don't really bother about customers. So you just be in charge, be at the door, and then you make sure, like, they're strictly particular or bothered about age. They call it challenge 25. If you look on the 25, then if you're working as a door supervisor, as a security, you've got every right to ask whoever it is, the customer or client that is coming into the building, for an ID, just to be sure he or she is over the age of 25, because it's a criminal offense if you allow people that are of not up to that age to come into a club or premises where they sell alcohol. It's against the law. So those jobs as well are jobs that you can get anytime. They are very much, the industry, that security industry in particular, is even short of staff. So these are jobs that you would get as soon as you finish it, because you get the job. I can guarantee that.
So how long does it take to do the course, or what's the duration of the course?
Yeah.
And do you have the idea of the amounts?
The last time I checked, it's I think it's not I think it's the training duration is 1 week. Like I said earlier on, it depends on the one you're doing and how many you want to do at a time. If you're doing, each of them is approximately 1 week anyway. So if you're doing CCTV and then you want to do the door supervisor as well, so you're talking of you're looking at doing 2 weeks in total. And then there's another one called security. Okay, I really don't know much about that. Let me not talk about that. So
what's the cost for you? Is it different if you want to do the CCTV or the SIA? Does it have different fee?
Yeah, for the last time I checked, the door supervisor one, all these things still depends on the trainer you're using, the training provider, and where you're doing it.
Okay. Like they don't have fixed rates.
Yeah, they don't have fixed rate, but there's an average. Yeah, there's an average rate. So if you're looking at doing door supervisor, then you're looking at least maybe £350 just to do the training alone for that 1 week duration.
Aspect, either the SIA.
No, they are all called SIA.
Okay, either for the CCTV.
Yes,
or
for
the
the
door supervisor.
No, I'm particular about the door supervisor. The door supervisor is of that range between 320 pounds and 350 pounds. But for the CCTV one, that's very lightly less compared to the door supervisor one. I think that you could get that one for like say an average of 250, 270 pounds. You know, so that's just the first step anyway. So as soon as you're done with the training, you get your certificates, and then you need to get apply. No, you don't start working. You need to apply for the badge. They call it badge, a license that you need that would show that you've done that training and then you've been certified okay to work with it.
As a security
so that also is going to cost you about I think £200.
Wow.
Yeah, so in total you're looking at say like £550
so
minimum.
Wait, does that mean that after spending all this amount, what are you gonna get in return, as in what agencies or your boss or your employer is gonna pay? Are they gonna pay you enough to really cover for all that you spent?
Yeah, the good thing about
they pay well.
Everything has good side and downside. The good thing about this one is the jobs, as the jobs is in all sector, as in this SIA job, this security job. So it depends on the sector. Yeah, almost all the sectors in the UK need security. So that's the good thing. So that's one of the reasons why the job, as soon as you're finishing it, you get as soon as you there's no job scarcity on that. So it depends on the sector. Yeah, it depends on the sector you're working. The sector you work in depends how much you're likely to make. If you work in pubs or clubs, for instance, you don't really get much hours because the pubs, majority of them don't open in the morning. You know, people can't just come and start drinking alcohol in the morning. So they open like afternoon, evening, and they don't require security officers as soon as they open because it's still very less busy. So as time goes on, when it's beginning to get busy, that's when they probably get one or two security guards, SI guys, like the door supervisors, to be in charge of
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Get good pay? Do people get good pay with the amount they've spent?
Yeah, that is course? Yeah, I'm putting everything together. Like that's why I said it depends on the sector you're working for with your badge as a door supervisor. Like that is why I said for the clubs and pubs, you can't get more than weekdays. You can't get more than 6, 7, 8 hours. And then the rate, the rate too is just slightly above our minimum wage. So that means you're not likely to get anything below £11. Of course, like I said, depends on the agency you work for. There are agencies that pays like £15, some pay £16, but those are like one of the average you get is £11, £13, between 11 and 13 pounds an hour. I think
we've talked a lot about the security. What about the railway, underground, those that work in the railway?
Yeah, guys, yeah, that's another good one. That's another good
surviving job.
Yeah, another good surviving job while you're still waiting for your dream job or your professional career job. So this railway one is like I did said earlier on at the beginning of this video, you know, there are processes and procedures here in the UK to get whatever you want to get, especially when it comes to you working or you pursuing a particular career, you know. So for this one, if you get this card, the card is called the Sentinel card. What it does is it enables you work in any railway setting or on the ground.
Train stations, right?
Yeah, not just train station. You could work as a train station. You could work at the train station even if you don't have the Sentinel card. But you want to work in the rail, like that, where the rail on the rail itself, or you need to, if your work involves you passing through the rail lines. Yeah, let me use the word, the rail lines. So that Sentinel card is the first thing you get. That's just the starting point. Either even if you are working as a cleaner or you're working as you're doing construction or whatever it is you're doing, but as long as that job details entails you to, I mean, would make you pass through that rail setting, you know, lines. Yeah, the Sentinel card is needed.
So the railway underground job is also like a surviving job.
Yeah, it's like it's a surviving job as well.
Yeah, as well. And do they pay well? Because I know you have to do the training, get the Sentinel badge.
Yes, for that one, no, that's not a badge. It's called a card. Yeah, the Sentinel card. So what that one does is, if you have it, it's in two ways. They've got the morning day shift and they got night shift. All the jobs anyway. Most jobs in the UK, most odd jobs in the UK, not all the jobs. A few professional ones as well have different shifts, as in morning, night, evening, morning, day, and night rather. So if you're doing, I would particularly recommend the night shift, because the night shift one, they pay per night. Most of the agencies pay per night; they don't pay per hour. So, and the advantage about that one is you work less, you get more pay. So they start for like around 12 a.m. because you have to be at the station from around 12 a.m. and you can't start working at that time because the last train has to pass, and then the station manager has to
continue.
Yeah, the last train has to pass before you guys start your job, because the station manager will need to take off all the electricity, just to ensure everyone's safety.
So those that work on what do they do? What is their job?
There are so many jobs if you're doing working in the rail what's it called, the rail sector.
Working on the railway.
Yeah, if you're working in the railway, like there are so many jobs. Most of them are construction job, like where the train passes every day. The rail, those irons, the rail where the train passes. Sometimes it might have been wobbled a bit. Like if I say, I mean, it's maybe that it's been shifted a bit, and then it needs to be straightened, or there are not enough sand or granite, or things like that. And then you need to add more sand, or you need to add more granite to, if I say granite, little stones. There's a word they call them. I've forgotten the word.
Do they also check to see if train can fly through that rail?
Yeah, that is why I'm saying that. That is why I'm saying that there are so many job roles on that particular one. Okay, so you could work as a construction worker there, like about the things I just said. You check. Of course, they work as a team anyway, so it's not just one person. So in a team, but maybe for a team of like 12 people, for instance, like 4 people or 3 people could be the construction guys, and then one of them is a certified electrician that check to see, they would have a meter to read the current on the rail line itself, to see if there's still current on it, if it's been turned off. Wow. Those are people that are trained to do it. So, and those are people that check to see if there's a breakage or in the current, there's a particular amount of current that is meant to be on the rail, because those the train and the rail line, there's a should I say, it's powered by electricity, so it could electrocute someone. So they have to check. Yeah, so there are everything people is in order, is intact. Yeah, they have to check everything is in order. Yes, and in that team again, there's first aider. Okay. So that's why I say it's very broad. So it depends on, but the minimum is whatever you want to do. All these things I've just mentioned, there are cards, as in, you still need to step up if you get the Sentinel card. So what the Sentinel card basically does is it just enables you to start the minimum job, which could be you working as a cleaner in the rail station, or you working as a construction worker in the rail station. So, but if you want to step up to become a first aider, you need to do another course again. But bear in mind, that will be after you've gotten the Sentinel card. So you need to do another course on first aid. To climb up the ladder. Yeah, to climb up the ladder. So does that mean there's a career? Yeah, there's career progression. Yeah, you could even if you could do the real job and get as much as £350 a day. Yeah, wow. People get as much as £400, particularly if you get a contract with London Underground directly, or you get contract with all this, the rail company in itself. Because what it is most of the jobs are agency based. So it's agencies that gives out those jobs. Okay. But if you're fortunate to get them directly with the main guys like the London Underground, TfL, those Southeastern Rail, and so many of them. It's one of them. You even forget about your professional job. I'm telling you, you wouldn't want to do any professional job anymore. Yeah, that's the truth. Because the thing is, and like I said, you work less, you get paid more. Most of them, they pay per night, and you won't start your job until 12 a.m. or even beyond that. And then at maximum at 4:30. As if these guys don't yeah, I've done it before. So I'm speaking from experience. It's one of these things I've done in the past as well. All right. While they want to get more information, they can contact you directly. So there's career progression in the job. Like I said, it's got different job roles, from like the electrician guys, the construction guys, cleaning, first aider. There's another one again, that the people that make sure the train doesn't come while you guys are working. So there are so many jobs on it, so many job titles on it. Then.
Right. What about? Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. There is also another surviving job called factory worker. Those that works in a warehouse.
Yeah,
And
that's another one.
what I want to tell you is that there are some people that works in a factory as a factory worker, casual worker, and there are career progression. Some people start working, like for instance, those that work in a Amazon, those that work in a sugar plant kind of company, and they get promoted because they already have their own maybe they have a
They have the
degree, they have a
qualification
kind of
already.
qualification already, and because they just want to start from somewhere, that's how they get that job. And as time goes on, when there are openings for job opportunities, they just present their CV, let their manager know I can also
Yeah.
do these things. And when they go through the interview processes and they get promoted, I know of one or two people that works in, like, oh, is a warehouse job, oh, is a factory, and they get promoted to a bigger role because they have the qualification already. So you starting with some jobs that are, oh, it is a manual job, oh, it is this one, does not mean you're going to remain there. The essence of this video is to let you know some casual jobs you can do to survive. Why you just get into a new country, why you are just new in the UK, any country, and before you now start like, okay, I'm settled, I need to start updating my CV, I need to start doing some short courses by the side to get my dream job and start applying to places. Because while you're applying to places, even if you just get into the UK right now and you are already having a big role in a company, you're not going to get that job immediately. Even when they say, "Oh yes, congratulations, you've been shortlisted, you've been appointed," they're going to still do some paperwork, do some credit, DBS check, and it might take 1 month, 2 months. At times, you'll be surprised that you'll be on a job searching a job, post, like getting you sorted out for a job, and they are still doing some paperwork for like 3 months. You've not been asked to come and resume. So what are you gonna be spending while you are waiting to resume your dream job? So that is the essence of this video. That in the UK, because that is where we live, so that's why we're using that as a case study for this explanation, that there are surviving jobs you can do before you land your dream job.
And to even shed more light on that, guys, these jobs we've just even highlighted and talked about, you see, it depends on the angle at which you're looking at them from, because the thing is, these jobs, they could be surviving jobs, but at the same time, they are still like side hustle as well. You could even still have your main job, and then if you think you have the time or time permits you to do some of them, you might still want to do this job. But there are guys that does their main office job, their professional job, Monday to Friday.
And they still work as a driver, do Uber,
and then on weekends,
delivery.
on weekends they do Uber Eats, they do Uber, Bolt, picking passengers. You might just do those jobs for like just 2-3 hours in a day. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do them like from morning to night, like you're doing them as a full-time job. So these are good like side hustle jobs, like second job.
Some also do some DIY, like help people to fix some furnitures in the house, doing some painting, some electrical jobs, some other petty jobs in the house that you can do by yourself, makeup, hairdressing, barbing, all the stuff like that. They're also surviving jobs. You just have to, like, some help people to go clear their garden, and they get, like, now we are getting to summer. Some people's gardens are so bushy right now, and they need to clear it so they can use the garden for summer. If you can do it, if you have your mower, some garden equipment, you can just, and they get big amounts. When we wanted to clear our garden one time ago, we pay £160 for a job that didn't even last more than 2 hours to clear the garden.
And that was what inspired me to go get our own garden tools, because I was like, this is crazy. How can
to be honest.
Yeah, we did it the first time and then wanted to do it the second time. And the guy was even giving me condition.
Oh
my wife was not at home then. The guy was telling me, with the money I wanted to pay then, we wanted to pay, I think, £150, and he was telling me he was just going to clear the garden, that he won't pack the rubbish or grass or whatever it is, that I would be the one to sort them out. So, and clearing the garden is not going to be more or less than 45 minutes. So why should I pay that crazy amount when I can use that same amount to buy those garden tools itself? And then do those things myself. And even doing those things was even fun to me, and then it gave me the experience. So I've now looked at it that, so this thing is even not a big deal, you know. And so it's one of those things you can add that to one of the things you think you can do, but that you can't just go to someone's garden and say you have the experience, you want to do it. You probably would have done it in maybe a friend's house,
show them videos of your work,
that
or
you've
maybe
done in
you
the
have
past,
your
you
own
know.
catalog of some works
Those
you've done.
things are very easy to do, you know. In Nigeria, or for some of us that are like a bit old school, we've done it with using machetes like in secondary school, you know. We've been doing those things. But here in the UK, there are sophisticated equipment like garden tools that you could use, like machines. They are in form of machines that all you just need to do is set them up and empower them, and before you know it, in less than 20-30 minutes, a very large portion of area would have been done. So
okay, guys, so those are the surviving jobs we can do in the UK for now to get our feet till we get our dream job. Then we can decide I don't want to do this again or whatever. But at least we can have this information and give out to people that are just coming into the UK to survive on, without being a bother to anybody, or without being a liability to any other person. All right, then. If my content suits you, if you like my kind of content, why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Comment in the comment section. I remain to be about Wilson, and thank you so much, babe, for having me on my channel.
And thank you too for having me.
Then I will see you in my next video. Take care and bye.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.